I've just started my Minecraft Forever world, and one thing that honestly terrifies me is logging on one day then just not wanting to play. Because let's be real, that's not an if, it's a when. Every world hits that point when the motivation fades and the excitement of a fresh start starts calling again. And that's why I've set up 7 milestones. Unlocks tied to playtime, to stretch out the early game and keep things feeling fresh. But what happens beyond 1,000 days? For me, one of the most motivating parts of a long-term world is being able to travel through it, to revisit old builds and see how far things have come. And one of the best ways to do that is with horses. Of course, I don't want to just get any horse. I, of course, want a max speed and good jumping horse, which if you've ever seen anyone go for, you know it's a ton of horse breeding. So let's grab some of the wheat seeds we already have. And now that I can make a bucket, let's also grab some dark oak. So the first thing I want to do is get ourselves a wheat source. Had to get the sheeps moved a little bit as well, just to make a little bit more space for our wheat field. We can even take away a few more blocks here just to make this a bit more of a hill. And for now, I have managed to get all of the wheat seeds that I currently have in, so we'll let this grow up. And I want to go get some decorations for this. And, ooh, I thought I was down at the acacia. Guess I didn't grab any saplings. Guess we'll go get some then. We'll get a shears as well, as I want some leaves. And do I have any leads already? Does not look like it. All right, because if we're going on a trip, we might as well take our horse, and we might as well look through a few horses on the way. Where's the doggo? Oh my god, you are so cute. Yo, I'm coming back for you. But I know there's a savannah over in this direction. Yep, right here. I knew we were in that village at least. And we also got some horses here. Let's see what speed these are. We've got a jumper, but not a runner. And if you are wondering, the numbers in the top left corner are from a mod called MiniHUD, which lets me easily see the speed and jump height of a horse. I did think the sun is a little further away than it was, but I'm not complaining. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that many horses, but now that we're here, let's get a few acacia leaves gathered up. Ooh. Oh, wait, no, that's a brown egg. I thought it was an armadillo scute. Forgot they drop different eggs. Let's just have a quick little scout. We got a donkey. Any more horses? I don't think they spawn in the desert, but ooh, we got an armadillo scute. We get dog armor. Got a village over here. Ooh, wait, I have an idea. You should first of all have more wheat for me, which I'm not going to complain over. But not only that, should have some ready grown, yes, some ready grown wheat right over here. And if we harvest this, we'll be able to get a couple more wheat seeds to get our own fields kicked off a bit more. Ransacking the rest of the village, just grabbing a bit more wheat and wheat seeds here and there. Scattered a little bit for some other horses, but I can't seem to spot any other than the 2 that we ran past entering. So I think I'm just gonna head back and maybe we can find some horses in the area, because I do want to get started on breathing. Oh wait, there's an entire group right there. This feels like this one could be fast. Come on. I'm having terrible luck trying to tame these, but a 12.6 and a 4 jump. Oh, this is a good one. I'm not even sure if mine gets up to 12. It's, oh, that's an entire block per second more. Right, we gotta put this guy in a hole for now. Maybe put my horse in a hole for now, and this is our new horse. Feels like the wrong thing to do, but I might have to do it. We'll come back for this guy though, because this guy's still fast, and the more faster horses I have, the better and the faster it's going to go for us to get, well, a max speed one. And no, I don't think I'm going to get a max speed today, but I hope so. Oh wait, can I just look at the horse? Oh, so you're not worth keeping. Are you? Nope. Good jump though. And we have one more down here. Looks like it's pretty slow though. Yeah, good jump as well. Oh my god, so many horses with good jump. Too bad I'm not going for a max jumping horse, but we'll take this new guy back home, and I guess I'll run over here in just a second and grab that one as well, and we can maybe start breeding these 2. Having a good jumping horse, especially before having paths in a world, oh, it's so nice. Although I do really wish they could run through leaves. Oh, this guy's almost just as fast as the one over there, but he doesn't have as good of a jump, so maybe we will still go for that one. And this is a good jumper and decent speed as well. I just had to look at the recipe, and apparently we can craft leads. I thought they needed slime, but apparently not. I have no idea when that changed. That's great though. Let's also grab some spruce. I want to get a couple of spruce fences fences going, just to start off a little pen for our horses that we're breathing. And then maybe we can keep our current horse in just a pit right next to this. Oh, need a new shovel. But I think I actually have an extra saddle. I do. And if we can grab like a barrel, grab this guy, put a little barrel in with some hay bales, and ooh, we are gonna need a gate because I can't ride the newborns, of course, and I'm a little lazy. I'm not gonna run all the way over to get that other horse just yet. Instead, let's tame this one. Get some hay bales out of storage, and let's start. Oh, do you have to take that? I think you have to take the saddles off. Wait, do you not? I'm not really sure why I thought I could breed them with hay bales, because apparently you need golden apples or carrots. Well, that makes this wheat field a little pointless, doesn't it? But let's continue working on it, as a nice looking wheat field is never something to complain over. Continuing to expand on the field itself, I want to start using the acacia leaves we just gathered up in the savannah to create a hedge around the field, sprinkling in some coarse dirt and spruce fences to connect it more to the terrain. Definitely worth still bringing this in, and of course now maybe we need to make a carrot field, but maybe that'd be a future field as well. And while this wheat field is looking great, something I want to focus on next, and well, something I want to focus on throughout this forever world, and something that I think will help me stay inspired and stay motivated to keep playing in this world, will be to connect everything up with paths. So I guess starting with this path right here that we have next to the starter house, this will be the path that everything that I build in this world connects to, which, saying it out loud, feels a little weird. But let me grab an extra 2 shovels, and I was gonna say we can hop on our horse, but let's actually bring back that other guy, because if we can't use hay bales, I need to be a bit more selective with what horses I breed, because in the future I have some grand plans in this world to build civilizations, kingdoms, cities throughout different biomes and environments in the game, mainly environments that I don't really build in too often, because I always tend to lean towards making my bases in, well, plains biomes, similar to wherever I decided to set up now. But I want to branch out from that and make some civilizations in other biomes like deserts. Another one I'm really excited about is oceans, and a snowy build. I've always wanted to do a snowy build, just been a little too scared to do one. Something that easily happens when you have a bunch of different projects spread out across a world. It all sort of becomes disconnected. And for me, I find building paths, yes, even if it is across thousands of blocks, that it helps me with motivation and feeling like all of the projects I make are connected. And creating an interconnected world where I can hop on a horse and traverse down endless paths and really evolve builds is something that really helps me stay motivated and inspired to keep playing in a world. And with that explanation, I've had the time to gather up a bunch of mud which we need for the paths. On the way home, maybe... Oh, that's beetroots. Think... Yes, those are carrots. Yeah, just find my way up this mountain so that we can get home. Back home, we can just draw up this mud off real quick. And yes, I do have a few gold bits where we can craft up 2 golden carrots. And we'll get those planted soon. So for now, I just want to do the first round of breathing. Between these two, where can I see... Ooh, we got an almost 13 block. Better than both of these. Oh, that's great. But I don't quite have everything I need for my pathways just yet, as another thing I want to use a lot of is, well, rooted dirt. I've been playing the create mod for a while now, and in there I've personally added a recipe to create rooted dirt, so I've kind of become addicted to it. And well, the only issue is that in vanilla there is no renewable way to create rooted dirt, so we need to find ourselves a lush cave, which I do have a lead on where one might be. We just need to head over this mountain over here. And oh, is this the cavern I died in episode 1? Yep, it definitely is. As we peek out to the forest here, yeah, there's an Azalea tree. I spotted it while watching episode 1 when I was out getting dark oak. As I think also... Oh yes, we can see some moss down here already. I do need to get some moss, but first I do need to get the actual rooted dirt. Where was that tree? I thought I saw it somewhere here. Oh, there it is. Glad I spotted this back in episode 1 as searching for a lush cave could have been pretty painful. No, I don't think this will affect this lush cave as we are so close to spawn, but later down the line I definitely think I'll have an area of the world with rooted dirt that I reset the chunks in every so often to make the rooted dirt somewhat renewable. Or, you know, Mojang could just add a crafting recipe to combine hanging roots and dirt. But I don't mind gathering it. Also got a bit of moss. Now I just need to find my horse, and I'm gonna guess he went for higher ground. Oh, there he is. All right. For a second there, I thought he might have fallen into the hole in the ground over here. This should be a nice block for us to use to detail the edge of the path, and well, it could also be something that I should maybe put a little bit on the starter base, but we'll get to that in the future. If we can get started building this road, we just need to do a little bit of crafting. Crafting some packed mud. Gonna need to turn 48 of this into some mud bricks. Let's make some mostly cobblestone and coarse dirt as well. Gonna have to turn these into some slabs and also craft down some jungle down into a couple of slabs. Grab a bit of our rooted dirt, and I think we're ready to get started building this road. First off, it's definitely going to be just clearing away a few blocks though. With at least the first stretch cleared out, we can start getting some coarse dirt here along the edge of this. Also, a little bit of mossy cobblestone. Now, preferably we'd also have access to mushroom blocks right now, but to get our hands on that, we do need silk touch, which means that will have to be a future upgrade to the roads. So for now, just using our rooted dirt and packed mud for the majority of the road. Realized I probably won't have enough packed mud and rooted dirt to use in place for the missing mushroom blocks, so instead the road will have a bit of extra coarse dirt for the time being as I stretch the path over towards and around the field to the stables area. And as I'm touching up the terrain here a little bit, I'm realizing there's a hole here and, well, sort of an indent in the terrain, which I don't really know what to do with. So if you have any ideas, comment down below in the comments. But the path now stretches around to where I want the future stables, which is probably around about here. And of course around the wheat field back up towards the starter base, with the slight exception of a little gap over here, which I think I'm gonna just temporarily fill in with, well, yet again, a little bit of coarse dirt, because it kind of depends on what I want to do in the rest of the area, and I don't really want to go terraforming a lot here and then decide I want to build like a little bridge or something, because I feel like, ooh, a little pathway coming down this way and under a bridge down into the cave. Ooh, that's a good idea. That might be something we tackle in a future episodes. Before we start working on that though, I want a little storage for our wheat, which is almost fully grown, as I want to start stockpiling wheat, as you can really never have enough wheat in this game. On our way back, let's also get the horses bred up another time. So it's gonna be this one, which still has to be tamed, and this one. See, and oh, we're in the 13s. We're gonna get pretty close today. I don't think we're getting all the way, but maybe fairly close. While we wait to breed up more horses, I want to start working on a building to house our wheat, and I want to go fairly simple for this one. I just need to gather up a bit of spruce. Also, cut down a few oak trees behind the starter base before heading into the storage room, and crafting these resources down for a few different bits for us to use. I've also got a bit of tough and deep state left over from the first episode that we can put to use, and finally I just want to craft a few small detailing bits. Bringing these resources with us over to the far end here of the wheat field, where we can get a chest down to put our materials into, and bring out some coarse dirt, spruce, and oak, where I'm thinking we use some coarse dirt here on a diagonal to start extending up a little shed for ourselves. Going into our oak logs here, then we can go into a little bit of spruce that we can strip down just here along the top. Then on what will become the front here, we can just extend this on up, and then I guess using some scaffolding just as temporary blocks here, going across an opening to create ourselves an entrance, which we can just top off with some slabs. Just continuing this upwards here, and we can even use some of our just wood blocks here, as I'm thinking we bring in a little window with some scaffolding. Just finishing up the back here, and well, we'll clean up the inside here in just a second. As for now, I want to start working on the roof, and diagonal roofs are something I really struggle with, but let's start with a little spruce trapdoor trim. Then for the roof itself, bringing out our tough and deep slate that we had laying around to extend in a simple slab roof. Back down on the inside. Let's go ahead and get this grass here dug out. Replace that with a nicer looking floor. We can come back to our resources. Let's grab some trapdoors. Decorated pots. More trapdoors. Barrels, composters. And some for our bamboo. As well as I've realized all of this has grown. So let's do a first harvest here of the wheat field, because of course we gotta have some decoration of wheat inside of the wheat storage. And also I need more wheat because I am running out of it. Even though we didn't even need it to breed the horses. And one harvest here gets us just over 4 stacks, which is actually not too shabby at all. And I'm thinking we can just take one of these here to craft that into a crafting table, which we can just put in the corner, as we definitely want to make that into hay bales. And actually want to use that a little bit here for our decoration. As if we put some of that in the floor, then using some bamboo slabs, we can just stack up a little bit of this here behind. And I'm throwing in the bamboo here, as well the hay bales are pretty boring as they are, so I just want to mix it up and texture them a little bit with some bamboo, which has a really similar color. Other than that, we also need just a little bit of storage in here. I don't expect to store too much wheat in here, because, well, how much wheat can I really get? But I do want to have a few barrels spread out at least. Maybe another one up top here with a shelf coming across like that. Just a few more pots, maybe a bit more hay. And we can throw in a second shelf right over here, stacking up maybe just a little taller. A few more barrels, maybe another one flower pot right there. And, ooh, wait, a composter perhaps in the corner. A bit more bamboo and just a little trapdoor there, where I think we can use a few wheat seeds just to get these guys up to that top level, and then we'll get that little white bit in there, which is, well, I guess the actual bone meal. The same one with this here, and then we'll just throw our wheat inside of this guy, and we can store a couple of seeds right over here, as this would be great for when I want to plant future fields. And focusing a bit more here on the exterior, I think, yes, I grabbed some jungle trapdoors earlier, where if we just grab these here, we can create ourselves a little door for the shed. It's going to stay open, of course, but at least there is a door. And, well, we're gonna technically be transporting this wheat down here, but lore-wise, you'd probably also be, well, okay, transporting it over to that starter base isn't maybe the longest transport, then you could probably do that by hand. But eventually, I want to have an entire civilization based around this point, so we are gonna have to transport it further, or at least the lore is gonna have to transport it further. And I'm thinking we can do something a little fun, perhaps. So if we just use a little bit of course start here, and we go up, we can get underneath and place down 2 grindstones. And I've actually never used grindstones for this before, but I'm thinking what we can do, if we just grab our hay bales again, is create a little wagon of some hay here. Now this is obviously just a half a wagon at the moment, so I'm thinking spruce fence for us to be able to support it a little bit. Then I want to bring in a ladder, so we are gonna have to get a trapdoor instead. And I should have, yeah, some spruce stairs, which we can bring in the front here. And can I place a hanging sign? Nope, I can't. We're gonna have to get rid of these real quick then. Just place in these, bring back our little seat, and also maybe just a few trapdoors across here. And we can extend this out another block. A little bit of a gap in there, but at a quick glance, you're not going to notice that. And, well, eventually I want to put a little coral bit up here, but I don't have any silk touch, so I can't get a live coral fan right now. But once we do have one, I want to put that there. Now, ooh, one final detail. Hi. Just got to grab a lead. Get out of here. Oh, how I love not getting bad omen. Something's messed up a little bit here with the fresh animations pack, as the animations are a little off. But if we just grab one of the slower horses we have right now, and we lead that to there. Oh, yes, I do really like that. I think we get rid of the saddle, and this guy can just kind of hang out here, as, well, his job is now to pull this cart. Oh, you're so cute, buddy. A few more details just spread in around here. Even got just a little bit of leaf litter here on the inside for that extra little bit of detail around the door. But now I think I've been putting it off for long enough, and we should probably actually get towards building the stables. But before we do that, I have 2 golden apples still, and I've actually been breeding the horses a little bit as I've gone. And I'd like to inform that we have, no, that's not the one. We have a 14 horse, which I have claimed, and disregarding the little animation, he's so fast. I don't think I've ever had a 14-speed horse. This is just so cool. But let's pair him up with the second fastest one. So that's 13.2. All right, pretty sure that that's this guy. And we can just go ahead and see. Okay, come on, come on. As we get closer, ooh, we got a little variation. As we get closer, it's gonna get, yeah, he's Oh, not even 13. I must have been really lucky with that 14 then. Right. Which one is your parent? Come on, buddy. Just gotta go on in here. So back to material gathering then. Definitely going to need a few more blocks this time. So let's get ourselves started with smelting down some copper, which we can craft into some doors and blocks to place down outside to oxidize while we gather the rest of the resources. And to get started with those, let's see what rocks we have in storage already and can craft down from that. Not too much, but it's a start at least. So let's get some iron and we can craft another iron pickaxe for ourselves. Would have loved to make it a diamond one, but it still need to play another 50 days in the world until I'm allowed to do that. So let's use our current gear to mine some dripstone. Then moving a little further down into the cave, I want to mine a little bit of granite as well. And I'm also out of tuff and ooh, diamonds. Can't use them yet, but I'll definitely be back. For now, restocking a bit on some tuff. On our way up from the cave, I also want to mine up a bit more cobblestone to use for our stables. Now back up to the house, I can spend a bit of time in the stone cutter to finish off our stone blocks. Which means I can finally move on to wood, where I've got some spruce left over from earlier to first craft down. Then let's craft up another axe before heading out the door and over towards the jungle to chop down a couple of jungle trees. And finding our way through the forest over to the dark oak biome, where we can also spend a little bit of time gathering some dark oak logs and restocking a bit on regular oak. Returning home from that trip, let's finish off our wood resources by spending a bit of time at the crafting table. That there should do it, and on to some final blocks where I've been harvesting honeycomb this entire time, but I need a bit more, so let's breed up the bees and expand our beehives a little. While we wait for the bees to make some honeycomb, I want to head over to the jungle yet again, as I need to gather a few vines, a block I rarely build with because it's such a pain. But I've actually turned off vine spread in the world, so I'm excited to use them in some builds. And somehow, after all of that material gathering, none of our copper tours have even aged down a single stage. Well, let's at least wax and grab our weathered copper blocks and craft those down. Still waiting on those doors, but we do have everything else here at least. And before we get started on the stables and move all these resources over there, I also gathered up a few extra stuff, which means I can build another custom tree. And I've done a lot of thinking since the first episode and decided that I don't have to build a brand new custom tree each episode, but I will be trying my absolute best to build at least one custom tree in the world each episode. And if you want to join me and see how many custom trees I'll eventually have in this forever world, you should definitely click that subscribe button. Finishing this guy off here with just a little lantern hanging underneath it for a bit more atmosphere. And oh, I really love this tree. One of the first custom trees I ever built together with Mr. Matt Ranger, and it's just, oh, it's so lovely. Distractions aside, we should probably, well, first sleep and then get our resources moved over. Now to finally kick off the stables, I want to work on the actual stable segment, where for most of the foundation here, I'm thinking we use our tough brick to build that up just a little bit from the ground. Regular tuff here with some chiseled tough bricks as a little trim to the foundation, where we can maybe even mix in a bit of chiseled tuff where we're gonna have a little entrance into the stables. And I guess even though we won't have an entrance on the back here, we can just match that up to the front just to have the same pattern going all the way around. Just clearing away a few blocks here. For the floor in here, definitely coarse dirt. I think we might skip out on some rooted dirt. We'll throw in a little bit as well. I have some regular dirt and then packed mud and cauldrons and hay bales. As if we also grab some of our trap doors, we first start extending in the floor itself, where I want to bring in just a bit of regular dirt into the mix here with some rooted dirt and of course our packed mud. Getting our first cauldron in here as well. And I'm aiming for 3 stables in here where we can get 2 more of those in. And just to make sure that the grass doesn't spread up on the regular dirt, we gotta just swap this out for some coarse dirt underneath here. Then we can just continue with our packed mud here along the back. That is looking pretty good. Then for the stables themselves, I think we put the first edge right here and that going around to this side. We can have the door leading into this pen right here, the start of another one, these two together over here, and then we just section these off like this, creating a 3x3 space for the horses. Definitely enough. Hopefully they won't be jumping too much on the trapdoors, but knowing how horses work inside of their boxes, they will probably be jumping up and down and spinning like crazy in here. And we'll just add in another little lip there just to add in a little bit more height to it. If we get ourselves our 14-speed horse here, we can easily get in here and we can round the corner, we can open up and definitely get the horse in here. Oh, that's great. Okay, and actually if I just grab some stone, and we need to get a roof on, but that's our first horse in here. Perfect. Oh yeah, yep, okay. From the stone, I want to do a few lighter bits here with some andesite and even going into our light gray concrete powder. And to bring in a little bit of natural light to the horses, I'm thinking some slabs. Go a block gap. A few more slabs right here where we can use some tuff just to make some darker edges towards the top, and then bring out our cut copper as a little bit of an accent, the pop of color above this, maybe even in this corner. It's probably gonna get pretty dark with the building coming in right next to this. We can even throw in a little bit of deep slate up there, adding in a few windows around the back, creating the rest of the stable walls. And coming in here on the inside, I don't want to leave these just completely open, so I'm thinking we add in some oak trapdoors just to block these off. Then moving up to the roof, I want to go a little run down using some mud brick and jungle as the main blocks, adding in some spots of mossy stone bricks and cobblestone to add in that erosion I'm looking for. Then we can run up behind... Oh no. There's no way they still haven't oxidized at least one stage, right? Oh, I see green. Oh, I did it in my face. And I need 2 of them. Oh, that's perfect. Just gotta grab 2 honeycombs. And the entire reason for these 2 is so that I can grab 2 of these stairs. Just get them in right here. And then I want to use these to bring that down into the ground for a little archway. I'm thinking we grab some oak trap doors. And we can just on the outside of this add in a small little extra door. Actually, we'll just get rid of this and do full on oak here. And we have that. And then just need to wax these 2. Perfect. Get these back in here. Throw in a few more details just to make this a little more homey. I'm actually a little scared that the horse is just going to jump out now after our testing. So let's give that another try and see if it just jumps out right away. There's a big chance that he does. But we can ride in. We can go inside here and we can close the door. Well, yeah, you definitely... Yep, or you're already trying to go over there. If you just were to go a little more this way, you would really get out. It's not a problem yet. If we see horses running around... Why AI? Ugh, this is why you don't build with trapdoors. You should just do the full walls. There's no door to close. But the stable section is done, so let's add in the house support in this. I'm carrying on with the stone walls for the foundation floor and adding in a few of those copper decals around the windows. Before moving on to the second floor, I'm adding a trim of deep slate and polished tuff to the build to section it up a bit more. Then extending up a strip dark oak support structure, and for the walls themselves, filling them with granite and dripstone, using cyan glass for the windows to give another subtle pop of color to the build. Around the front, I skipped the section since it was becoming a bit repetitive, and instead I'm adding in a wooden outcropping to break the space up a bit. Then jumping up to build a tough trim roof and layering a combination of stone, stone bricks and cobblestone to fill in the rest. Starting to finish this up, around the back of course the build needs a chimney, so I'm using deep slate for a darker contrast to the rest of the structure. Finally adding in a small weather vane on the roof and a few birds from candles flying out southwest towards the desert. I just love this building. I took a little inspiration for the style and some of the details from a person named Blubben, and I'm really happy I did because I got to experiment with some new things, and I just really love how this area and the start of this world is coming together. I just get really excited thinking about the future of this world with the stables and the start of getting a max speed horse. I just can't wait in a year's time to be able to run around on a ton of different paths and roads and see how this world has grown. But we definitely got a ton of building ahead of us until we're at the point where we can do that, and we've done so much for an episode 2. So as always, thank you to all of my supporters, and thank you to you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.